ago.
It was ages ago. It was so last year, right?
I don't know, when Halldamir uploads this in 6 months with the other recordings, it'll have just happened.
Hey man,
What are you talking about?
You gotta wait for my internet still. I'm using my phone as like a wireless receiver at this point. My desktop.
Yikes! Yeah. Okay. No excuse.
I've got the broadband. I've got the Wi-Fi.
And that's what happened last year too. All the mobile internet.
I've had so much issues. I've got the Wi-Fi, but you know, BT have been lying. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Man.
CSI, a British internet provider.
You know, British Telecoms, they got a lot to answer for when I can connect to a hotspot Wi-Fi of theirs and get 32 megabits down. I connect to my own and get half a megabit.
The last time.
Anyway, last time we went to Hades. That's all I remember. We went to Hades in a we were invited by Kira. And what's his face? I've totally blanked on the god of the underworld.
Hades.
Hades. We were invited to their wedding, right? Ish.
Yes, I think before then we went to talk with the dead dragon head, right?
Oh, the dead
we went
dragon.
to the centaur tribe and Darius made friends. Well, okay, friends is maybe a bit. He made peace with the druid that he had offended.
Peace is a very strong word.
He made some kind of
extremely uneasy ceasefire.
Yes, ceasefire is a good word for now. Temporary ceasefire so that we could gain some information from this dragon head, and he interviewed it, asking it about why it did what it did. And from what I remember, what was it?
I actually think that was 2 sessions ago, because afterwards, that was when I went back and investigated and discovered the paths that the Kraken can take under Thylea. That was like the big reveal starting that session, was that the Kraken can be anywhere.
Yeah, but so we found out that there's the underground tunnels everywhere, and we thought that it was the Kraken that had made them, but then the druids of the Old Woods told us actually they're part of Thylea herself. Like that is not made by the Kraken.
It's something that the Kraken can use, not
that the Kraken can use. Yeah, and then we had like a whole ass discussion about how we can't really do anything with them, or we can't get sufficient help to like collapse them because that would be against Halldamir, and that's like a whole kettle of fish.
Oh, and then Demos got visited by Hades himself.
Oh, that was
in like a 1920s pinstripe suit.
Yeah, that was the
discussion before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I wasn't there. I don't recall that at all.
Anyway, and then we got a letter after some time, or an invitation from Kira, not Hades. Well, I suppose he was signed there, but I think it was pretty clear, given that we didn't get a location or like really anything, other than said that we were invited to a wedding and how nice that was. We tried to contact for some information like when, where, dress code, most importantly, and we didn't get anything really back. So of course the only thing that was to do was to use the portal device and go into Hades and fight our way to the wedding.
It turns out they set the demons set traps, like a trap when we got here, and we annihilated the trap. Like it wasn't very effective.
Oh yes, they tried to cut me off from the rest of you and regretted their life choices.
Yeah, because they
Yes.
cut me and Demos off.
Apparently, they were tired. The inhabitants of Hades were tired of, Darius
much shit.
coming in here,
Yeah, join
showing
the
up every
club.
now and then, and they
Join the
made a
club.
magic circle.
Get some original ideas. And then we killed them without asking where the wedding was.
They weren't really very accommodating.
Yeah, we just sort of forgot to take a prisoner.
Well, I don't, Demon's not like,
And here we
if he
are.
takes a prisoner, he's going to have to let them go. These guys seem like they kind of sucked. So.
Right. I mean, and now looking at the map, though, all these dead bodies, they don't look like wedding guests, right?
The
I
dead
just wanna make
bodies
sure.
that you see on the map, they aren't actually there.
Okay. I just wanted to be like, oh, this is the wedding reception, actually. Like, oh.
I thought it was just Hades decor, honestly.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I see them.
Yeah, I just zoomed in over here and I was like, wait, is that a body?
I just assumed it was part of the decor, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Like, I saw nothing weird about it.
Yeah, it's like,
We're in the underworld. Of course there's going to be bodies in trees. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but
It's not
If it's-
actually a body.
They have like
You see-
fairy lights in them.
you see
world
this
of
tree?
the dead.
You see this tree? Here there's like a weird blossom. When that opens, it feigns the look of a dead body, hoping that someone will come and investigate, after which it devours them,
oh, I see.
snapping them up like a plant and then sort of choking them to death. and then eating
That
them.
is
That's how they
canon
live.
now.
It's like a Venus person trap.
There's no sun here. Like, what
Venus
are
hell
you
trap.
supposed to do?
Venus hell trap. Or hell people trap? Venus? Hell? Hades people trap.
Wow, I
That's what we'll
can't
call it.
believe y'all
Recap ever.
teaching
The best.
talking about Venus like this.
It's almost
We
like
nailed
one
it.
of our intro videos. About as organized.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Alright,
Anyway,
how are we gonna
We
find
didn't
this
bring
party?
our dragons because they weren't invited, and we're pissed about it. But
Yeah, we were a bit.
Yes, and we left off last session with, I believe, the party looking around, trying to figure out a way to find where this party even is, and Demos deciding it's probably that way.
I do remember Demos just saying, let's try that way, like walking off.
Worth noting that the invitation, which was very curt and not really celebratory at all, there was a date given, though not a location. I believe you told me that you basically start this trip about 3 days before said date.
yes,
Yeah, because we wanted to have
some
travel
wiggle
time.
room.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because we don't know where it is, so
Mhm.
Bit difficult.
we're not gonna show up late.
Oh, God, no. Oh,
Can't have that.
not have that.
Then, if you are deciding to simply let fate take the wheel, which is very appropriate for this campaign, although
I
that's
could-
not the best thing.
I think we're
Demos,
surviving it.
It's got to be 1 in 4, right?
I would like to cast Augury.
Okay.
Sheep.
Tell me about augury while I also look up the spell.
Essentially, I can receive some omens from otherworldly entities about a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. You decide either whether I get weal for good result, woe for bad results, weal and woe for both good and bad results, or nothing. Doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome. Basically, your opinion of, like, without knowing how the session goes. If you cast a spell 2 or more times before completing a long rest, there's a cumulative 25% chance that you get a random reading. So essentially, I'd like to cast Augury and say whether or not it's... would we get anywhere by questioning devils as to where the location of the wedding is? Look into the future and see if that is worth our time. And while I'm at it, I'll give Ariad 7 temporary hit points.
A specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes.
You see, because I remember you saying that there was like a bunch of devils and shit flying around.
Yeah, there's the occasional small swarm of imps passing by. Occasionally, you can see a larger shape moving in the twilight clouds above. It's a bit hard to see currently as the weather is, the hell equivalent of foggy.
Smoky?
Like smoky, like overcast.
Mm.
Darius has been here before while that was not the case, during which he was able to see quite the distance.
Huh.
I'll point that out. Including other weather effects, such as clouds not of smoke, but rather of obsidian shards that would probably cut anything they come into contact with into pieces, and fun things like that. But the weather might certainly change over time. If you can question a devil within the next 30 minutes, the result of this augury probably that would help you. Yeah, that would be good.
All right, I look into the possible futures, and be like, "Yep, okay, that's where we need to do. We need to find some more devils and not kill them this time."
I feel like I can just catch up to a devil, just chase one down.
Want us to wait while you do it, or
just find one, point at it, and go, "You!"
Again,
chase after
we
it.
make a big ballistae, and then we fire Artemis in one direction, and she runs back. And she'll be back in like one bonus action or two. Like, I run, 50. I dash 50. All right. Well.
Oh no, it's 55 now. This level.
Which way was it that Demos pointed in?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
That way. Okay.
Whichever way that sheep has a more map in is.
Yeah.
Can I start hunting imps?
All right, you want to use survival to track down the footprints of a flying imp?
No, I was like, look.
Just looking. Perception.
Just looking.
But yeah, survival works. I'm just taking the piss. I'm just saying it's not as easy as just looking around on the ground like your average tracker would do. But there might be signs that there was a devil around. Artemisia knows, of course, however, that imps can turn invisible at will. Other demons have other tricks.
God, I hate them so much. Sorry.
Just looking around might lead to something, but you'll have a hard time, to say the least.
You know what we could just try? Just shout, "Who wants to make a deal?" and then see what devil shows up.
Jesus Christ!
Entire hell shows up.
Maybe an input like $5, you know?
I have a glazed ham!
It has my face on it.
Right. It's a Demas gold bar.
Yeah.
Very valuable. Yeah, who wants the king's soul?
Oh, we don't have to specify what the deal is.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to strike a deal?
Give me that survival check, first of all.
I'm going to survival check.
Oh, help.
Help.
Looking around the sparse vegetation, or what counts as vegetation, Artemisia supposes.
That's advantage help, right?
Yep.
Where's the first one? The second one.
Yeah, looking around, there's absolutely like no footprints other than the ones you've left and whatever scuffle you had earlier. There's a lot of dust on the ground, covering a thin layer of dust really that constantly moves around, covering a very, very hard upper surface that doesn't really. It's hard for anything to leave tracks in there. If anything were to leave tracks in there, it would likely not be an easy thing to subdue and interrogate. However, that is something that doesn't need a high DC because you get it just by looking around, really. Not the entire surface of Hades here is just basically smooth, half-molten rock. Every now and then, Artemisia, looking around, thinks she sees signs of like brickwork. Although with the result as low as it sadly is, there's no way to tell more than that. It looks as if some of the ground at least had fused with some sort of brickwork like road structure perhaps, or remains of an old house or anything. It certainly looks a bit out of place.
Can we investigate such oddity?
Not with survival. If you wanted to look around for more signs, that would be perception. If you wanted to try to figure out what that might have been at some point, I think that would be investigate.
I will
better
try
with-
an investigation check.
I'm good with a perception, so I'll
Here,
investigate.
Juniper can help you out by flying around and looking for other signs.
22.
Oh, nice.
Juniper can help you because I get advantage.
Sure. I also have advantage on perception checks, but I'm going to try an investigate check. Don't think I'm very good at them, but why not?
I have a fat
Cast guide.
0, so
I'll cast guidance on myself first. Now one. Nope. Oh wait, no, I got help. I got help.
Here you go, help.
There we go. Let's try and do better.
I mean,
I got no
it
idea.
is better.
It's better.
Imagine getting fucking 10 on a nat 1. God, stop.
Well, that was with.
I am the skill monkey.
God.
But no good.
Yeah, Darius can't really make sense of why this would be here. It doesn't seem very likely that someone went to Hades and built a brick house that then at some point in the past fell over. But Artemisia certainly spots more of those more signs like that in a particular direction going east.
Nice.
Demos was right.
Bit of a trail that happens to be in the direction that Demos picked.
I mean, that's
That's what I saw.
All right.
sometimes you go with your gut.
It's like, yeah, I saw that. Absolutely.
There's, it's just that there's got to be something there, and there was nothing here. So
Let's follow the red brick road. I'm sure that nothing bad could happen.
I think we're the bad thing that's going to happen to whoever is at the end of it.
If those last
Right.
guys are anything to go by. Also, do we get to do that? If anyone has an objection to the wedding thing, because that seems very appropriate for this scenario.
We'll talk to her. Yeah, I mean, they don't know we have a level
Mhm.
14 monk, so they don't know what they're in for.
It's true.
One time we put her in armor and she was still incredibly effective. So,
Yeah, I mean, we follow the path.
All right, Halldamir has just left. It's going to be some time that you follow the path without much happening, really. Although it's not so much a great path to follow as it is the occasional scattering of bricks here and there. I would like to ask for another perception check at disadvantage or a survival check to continue following this trail.
I'll
Should one of
do
us do it, or is it multiple people who can try?
I'm basically expecting whoever is like looking for the path to do that. If all of you are doing it, sure, but
I can
consider it
assist.
as a future penalty on your passive perceptions.
I can
Yeah.
I can assist.
If I go
I'm trained in
perception, I
survival.
already get advantage on it, so that would negate
Oh, well,
the disad.
Right.
So you could do your own thing.
I mean, I'm trained at survival, but
Yeah, me too. Do you want to
Go for
tag
it.
team survival?
sure, I'll assist you with that advantage, right? I can do
Alright.
that when I'm trained.
And me and Artemisia can both try a flat rolled perception.
I mean, or just be on the
Sure.
lookout. Yeah.
Cast guidance. There we go. Now we're talking.
First one. Okay, that's pretty good.
No, it's not a disadvantage if it's survival.
Hmm?
Perception was a disadvantage, right? Oh yeah, you
Yes.
get advantage, of course,
I get advantage because
because
we're
I'm
doing
helping.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
But I
Okay,
wasn't
well, I'm
much
taking
help.
the first one.
Yeah. Didn't need it.
What's going on? What?
We're
Hey, that could have
following
been
the
a
road,
Demon's roll.
but it's hard, so we have to investigate to find the
We
bricks.
can make a survival check or a perception at disadvantage, but we get it flat because we have advantage
Let's
from our
see.
shields.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, both Arid and Darius have no problems here continuing to follow the the death and despair, apparently. The road in quotation marks. As you continue following it, it takes like 2, 3, 4 hours. The weather clearing up a bit, letting you see a bit further. Although with the clouds leaving, the heat also takes a turn for the worse. Not exactly something that's going to bother heroes of your level, but it's worth noting. As you follow the road, it does get easier quite rapidly. It's not like an instant increase in the road being a road, but a slow and steady gradient from the odd scattered brick here and there to an actual, red brick road almost. Not incredibly well crafted by any means, but it is a trail. It wouldn't help a wagon go faster or a traveler go faster, as the stone and rock around is just incredibly smooth and easy to traverse anyways, but it's there. And it eventually even leads to some sort of crossroads. There's like a tree in the middle of a trio of roads going various different ways. That apparently has a variety of weathered signs attached to it. Looks like some sort of wood, or at least wood-like. It's unlikely to be actual wood, as it would have burned long ago. But it's like one of those things where you've got signs pointing in the various ways the road is going here.
What they say.
Do any of you speak Infernal?
No. You messed up.
Can any of you read Infernal, I should say?
I was gonna say that doesn't seem like a language that is native to where I am from.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I cannot.
I
Do I
gotta say,
comprehend language?
look time to look at
I can cast comprehend languages as a ritual.
Yeah, I can only understand all spoken languages.
Well, then give me 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can also do comprehend language, but you like.
Maybe
I mean, if
more
you
than
want to,
4
go ahead.
hours. Take
But
10
if I do
minutes.
divination spells, I can also give people 10 hit points.
No, yeah,
so.
you go ahead, man. Like.
Oh, sorry, it should be 9 temporary hit points. So, Ariad, you have 9, and then also give 9 to Demos.
Darius, your passive perception is that with the advantage already calculated in?
Correct. Yeah, the +5.
All right, because if you're doing a ritual, you would have disadvantage, I would say, which would cancel that out.
Oh, is
Yep.
passive perception with like a +5? If you have
Yeah, if you have a constant advantage, you put +5. If you have constant disadvantage, it's -5.
Oh, I should add +5 to mine then.
Yeah, 10 plus
I'm gonna
whiz
do
plus
that.
5 is
There you
what
go.
I have written down for passive perception.
Yeah, that's what I've got now. Realize, but that changes it from 13 to 18, so I feel like that's
Yeah, it's much better.
it's like significantly better.
That is pretty significant.
Oh, the shields are incredible.
Oh yeah.
See, I should have probably prepared a map for this. Can I,
It looks
can I
very
improvise
similar
one?
right here. It's fine.
I mean, the general environment certainly does look very similar. It's very samey.
Yeah.
All right, we
Just,
can
just drag us to the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is where you are now.
look at that.
Wow.
I wanted to find
Really,
like a
they need some help with
signpost.
the interior design here. I feel like this is like landscaping. Clearly not a budget priority right here.
It's really not, you know. They just
Like-
don't
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
It's like if you
You
have
think
to
that if
spend
you-
eternity here, like
I was
come
just
on.
yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, come on, you want to make it somewhere you're going to enjoy.
All right. However, let's see, 13. So Artemis is actually 18 passive perception,
Yeah.
because that is relevant. A few minutes into Darius doing his thing here, Artemisia hears faint voices coming along one of the roads. They don't seem to be moving in any particular stealth or speed. Talking, well, with harsh tones that Artemisia can't immediately place to a language.
Doesn't matter. I can understand any language that's spoken.
Ugh.
In that case, you would, but sort of far away currently, coming a bit closer. Although, you know what, with that, Artemisia would definitely understand, or at least identify the language. It seems to be some sort of weird dialect of Draconic.
Oh,
Oh, in that case, I would understand it too.
Darius hasn't noticed it yet.
That's true.
I imagine that. Well, I mean, if I can barely hear them speaking, I can imagine Artemis can say in a low voice that have some company coming up down the road.
Yeah, chances are they're gonna cross into being actually visible in just a moment. They're like behind a small, almost imperceptible hill.
Okay, yeah. I guess if that's the case, then Artemisia does like a cough to gain everyone's attention, and then moves to face towards where they're coming from. I guess.
I think Darius just keeps on going the ritual. If they want to come over here, they can come over here. Like Galadriel vibes.
We won't assume violent intentions.
In hell? That would be
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
mean, I'm assuming.
I was gonna say, I mean, we are changed out of I'm changed out of my dress, so or
Artemisia
like my
came in
dress
her monk
garbs.
clothes.
So
True.
you know,
We'll put the suits and dresses back on when we get there.
Still has the royal adamantine armor.
Of course he does. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you know,
Artemisia came in her best monk's robe with shield and
Just,
spear.
It's like a toga with a
there's
shield.
no lint in the pockets, so you know it's real good.
It's her
monks don't
least
need pockets.
But it has
creased.
pockets.
Does have pockets.
Obviously, we're adventurous.
It
Gotta have
has to have
pockets.
pockets. I mean. It just so happens I've got like a glittering shield on my back and a Holy Avenger short sword at my waist.
Yeah.
A bunch of javelins
Ceremonial
of lightning.
armor. Ceremonial weapons, just like World of Warcraft, like big pauldrons. Like, it's ceremonial. Like, okay.
Thinking about that bit in the Dragon Prince is like, yeah, it's twice as visible and 3 times as heavy.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Then, as the procession of creatures crosses the hill, Artemisia gets basically one glance at them before they too notice you, and things happen. To give Artemisia a very brief description, they look like bipedal draconic creatures, half dragons perhaps, but with exaggerated, almost twisted features. They certainly resemble some of the chromatic colors that Artemisia might be, well, maybe not familiar with, but certainly familiar with. However, that's about as much as she gathered, as one of them immediately, with a snarl, raises a hand towards all of you, and well, we'll do a surprise round. Actually, Artemisia won't the rest.
Yeah.
We'll just do your average initiative.
Good old-fashioned initiative.
Remember, we got the special initiative button if you cast. I think you
Yes,
cast
you all have Gift of Alacrity.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
this
yellow
is-
initiative button.
These are not correct in the slightest. Let me fix that.
Let's see. Only
I-
GMs can perform at initiative.
I might have removed one of you from initiative. And I'll fix your macro. There we go. Jesus Christ, those rolls.
The gift of alacrity is insane.
There we go.
It's a good spell. It's worth
Well,
giving
I
up
rolled a
free
nat
first level
20
spell
and
slots
then a
to
one.
just have it.
Yeah, these guys are not that speedy. They seem to be on a
I mean, we
casual stroll
literally-
down the road.
Yeah, just standing here waiting to. We're like, all right, you say something's coming. There's got our stuff ready. You know,
Trying to read the
do our
damn
little
sign.
jumps.
Just
You
trying
know,
to read the
loosen up.
sign, and here they come, and rude.
So here you go. Here's the future says interrogate these dudes, and we'll get our direction.
Worth noting that the 30 minutes that your spell can see into the future has long since passed.
All right, fair enough. Still a fair enough guess.
But don't interrogate these guys.
Yeah.
Another guy.
I mean, they look like nice people.
Yeah, like Dragon Friend.
Dragon friends. There's not a red among them, which is
Dragon,
interesting.
dragon.
It's true. Don't fall
You
them.
know, red is the like puniest form of dragon. So
Wow. Go
Don't
solo or
let Parafax
Phoenix
all
and then
hear
come back to me.
I see that they have the most important, which is the black one. So really,
Obviously.
Right, there is.
Warning you, I'm
Worth noting
Ah.
that this area is basically entirely flat, so ignore any suggestions of elevation on this map.
Fair enough. Oh boy, what do I want to do? I think I need to be conserving resources in case we have a wedding. No, I guess it'll be in a few days. God, I haven't played this character in so long. I think I'm just gonna start off with basic stuff. Let's just cast Bless. I'm gonna cast Bless on everyone. Yeah, Bless is just a good, not your big blowout concentration, but just a good spell.
It's just a solid spell.
Just a solid spell, yeah. And I'll upcast it to 2nd level so we all get it. And then for my bonus action, I think I'm gonna hold on to my Bardics just in case. I don't know how serious this fight's gonna be. And Juniper, no, cannot get to them in one turn. So I think she's just gonna double move and like try and just get ready to be in a spot to help someone next turn. And I'll move back. That's
They're
me.
not going to get that far.
Yeah, and Juniper's like up, hiding in the dead man tree.
Harriet.
yeah. I think that I'll just ready, a barrage of Eldritch Blast at the first one that shows hostile or like attacks, basically. Is that a good enough description, or do I have to specify who it is?
No, that works.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna beam them down yet.
Sure. Artemisia.
You might not, I am. Well, not beating them down. I'm just going to one move, and then I'll do my bullshit monk step of the wind to bonus action in here. I get right stuck on in here. Artemisia sort of knows dragons, right? Now?
Sure. What are you aiming for here?
Just what out of the chromatics, what ones she would be most concerned about?
I mean, you could give me an Arcana check.
I'm excellent at those. Nope.
I mean, these are absolutely not dragons.
These are not dragons.
No, they sort of look like them, but
No, one will be white, 2 will be green. White it is. Yes, I think you're just gonna get stuck in. and then start wailing away on these guys. With a blessed Holy Avenger Sword.
Oof.
Oh,
Right.
that first roll was a 7.
Hit and hit.
Disgusting.
Revolting.
How much damage is that? That's a lot of numbers.
The second
The
two
fiend.
numbers are they part fiend?
They sure are.
They're part fiend. Oh my god, that's it's gonna suck for these guys. That's my turn.
The white of these creatures will, as a reaction, immediately retaliate with a massive snarl, throwing himself at Artemisia here. And will
Oh, damn, that's a
Oh,
solid reaction.
bite even. Misses. It hisses, visibly wounded to the point where, you know, it's looking like it wants to leave.
Does that
Cheap is
trigger my reaction?
I think so.
I mean, it's a
Also,
response
feel
to
like-
being attacked.
Yeah, I don't think it triggers.
Worth noting, Artemisia, give me a perception check here. See if you can pay attention to that.
Okay. 16.
No. Emos.
Emos will move forward. I was saying, we just want to know where the wedding's at. Could you please direct us to the wedding? The wedding, and he'll say that in common and then celestial, because that's all he speaks. So, and that's a double move. So he's just gonna hold up his hands and like wave at them. Wedding. Mime putting a ring on a finger. That's something we do here, right? Sort of wedding, tall guy. Hi, Ra. Saying it louder because that probably makes me want to say. Kira, wedding. The place, pointing on the sign. Place, wedding. You know, really trying to make them understand.
Sure. Yeah, moments have passed in this scuffle. The black draconic creature here who was a moment before pointing his like hand towards you in an obviously aggressive gesture has a bit of a change of heart and instead does whatever magics it wanted to do right at his feet, basically. As he will summon a cloud of darkness, which I believe is a 20-foot radius that plunges it into magical darkness, immediately, well, hiding Artemisia and the entire group, unless you have a feature that specifically states that it can ignore that.
I sure do.
Which means that
Inside,
Ariad isn't
outside.
bothered.
No,
However, with
this
the
is
light
how the
gone,
world always looks to me. Darkly.
Darkness.
well, you definitely still can't see that one, feature or not.
The
So just
20-foot
dim
radius
light.
shape, I can drop a template for you.
I don't think it matters where exactly it is. Maybe it does.
It's a
I'll
shame we
move
don't
in
have
there.
our dragons.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Well, now Demas can't see anything at all.
Yep, it's all black.
No, he knows Artemisia is going to deal with it.
The black draconic creature hisses and disappears in the darkness. The blue one, for at least Artemisia, for at least Ariad, who can still see, seems oddly unperturbed. Raises a claw towards Artemisia and summons a shimmering dome of force around her.
Rude.
I believe it is a 15-foot. Something like this. Basically, oh, that looks terrible. Basically dividing the two quarreling parties over there. Before hissing in a weird, twisted sort of version of Draconic. I think most of you can speak Draconic, so you can understand. Fresh Owen, stop playing with the travelers. We have no reason to quarrel with them. From the shadows, something hisses. But it would be fun. The green one sort of just sighs, looking first to Artemisia and then to Demos, raising its nasty claws, and even from his back pulling out a jagged-looking sword. As it turns towards on his turn. So someone removed my Dome of Force. How dare you?
Oh, it's there for me.
Yeah, I see it. Now I see two.
I see two.
Let's do that.
Scroll in and out.
There.
No, I just see the one. Weird. Okay. Doesn't matter.
So
The
the one
green
that
one-
has Artemisia at the very far left, that's the canon one.
Yeah, because we've got one
what you
that
see, Sheep?
includes this square, and there's one that is just this bit.
Alright.
There we go.
I only see the one you
This one.
This one.
That's
Okay. For me that has disappeared. I don't know.
Weird.
that is
Doesn't
very
matter.
strange.
You know what? I can outline it. Keep going.
Well, I did.
I'll make.
The green one, after quickly swiveling between Artemisia and Demos, sort of seems to relax, or at least like deflate at Demos's words. Sort of a sigh. Yeah, he invited. Where's my notes?
I think just comically as he says that, he must look at us. I don't think they understand us. Maybe they're not friendly. So he'll take out the World Lordly Might. Shape it to spear.
I was gonna say I don't
Uh,
speak Draconic either.
All right.
It sounds like he's shuffling through some papers.
No, Artemisia
He may
will
be
tu-
looking at the. He may have a guest list.
I think Artemisia
Give him a second.
will turn
Yeah.
to Demos as like they exchange that and like put a hand up and say, "Hang on, I think they might actually talk."
Can't see Artemisia. See complete dark.
Oh yeah, I'm in complete darkness.
I don't see you at all.
Just move out of it, and you just see. We just see the barrier.
See the barrier.
I assume she's
Well,
there.
Artemisia at least hears presumably the green one say, "Oh, he invited abovelanders. Of course he would. This dramatic. We should not waste time with these." Another voice from the darkened shadows that Artemisia can hear says once again with more intensity, "But it would be fun." The white one seems to be absolutely intent on trying to break down this false barrier with its bare claws, which does nothing.
Artemisia knows force walls, so she immediately stops upon seeing it. Would actually shout like, "I think they don't want to fight." And for the record, it would be only as fun until the heroes of prophecy end it all for you.
You speak Draconic.
I speak everything.
Do you understand everything, or do you speak everything?
Both.
Oh, all right.
You understand all spoken languages, and any creature that can understand a language can understand what you say.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't even matter what language I say it in. Just
Mm.
happens.
Supernatural polyglot.
Yeah.
Darius, you see nothing. There's a bit of a kerfluffle. Artemisia is saying some words that you at least can understand.
Yeah. I think I understand enough that there's some infighting amongst them. At least it sounds like it from where Darius is. So I think what I'm going to do is ready call out and say, fastest way to be rid of us would be to tell us where to go. The invitation was sparse.
I'll respond on their turn.
Yeah, I will ready. I'll take out like the bow and I keep it like drawn but pointing towards the ground so that like take a ready action if there is hostile action to shoot it, but would rather just exchange details and be on our way.
Harriet, you can see.
I can see, but not necessarily understand what these people are saying.
Yeah, I guess it would be in Draconic.
which is inconvenient.
Well,
if I'm honest.
you most definitely can see like the blue and green one sort of. They don't look like they're currently in a fight. They seem unperturbed by the situation in general. Whereas the white draconic creature, my Dome of Force disappeared again. How weird. Whereas the
Oh, it's
white
your
one seems to be basically like a rabid dog trying to bite its way through a glass window.
Cue a shot from any zombie movie.
Yeah.
I think she'll just like slowly approach, like not in a threatening way, but just holding up her hands. I assume they're like some kind of primitive sign of peace, on the way for travelers. Yeah. Maybe slightly frowning at the white one, like, okay. But we can hear what Artemisia says through the force wall.
Yes.
Okay.
So if Artemisia says it in common, everyone would understand.
No, I say it in
So we-
any language and anyone.
That's what I'm saying, is you don't have to speak common for them to understand. So if you say things in common, everyone can at least understand you.
Not everyone understands me.
Even if
regardless
she
of what
says
language
it's
I say.
like,
I
Oh,
speak.
What
okay.
he's saying is
Oh,
she's
right,
speaking
I
like
see.
orc or something.
Yeah.
Just to,
Yeah, we would still get it.
Yeah.
every other word is null. No.
All right.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, she's not gonna do anything. She's not.
Artemisia.
I mean, Artemisia knows what all forces. She's been stopped by one before. It says, all right, no hostile intentions. Just tell us where to go. We'll leave. Just tell the rabid one to stop.
Demos.
Sounds like things are under control. Fine. Yeah, Timo's just gonna look at the others, shrug, just go over here.
All right. There won't be anything from him. The blue one sort of just grunts and starts moving, to continue to move on the road. The green one sort of appears to ponder for a moment and then says, Fesherwen will stop his assault once he can't see anything worth assaulting anymore. He'll calm down eventually. So you were invited too, I was correct, but you don't know where to go?
The invitation didn't specify.
How curious. It appears Hades does not actually want you to arrive.
We were invited by the bride.
But surely you don't believe that the bride has any power to send out an invitation on her own.
No. Hence why I think it.
We all know what's happened here, but the truth is we've been invited on paper, regardless of the lack of any other details. Which means that we have a problem, and this is the easiest way for all of us to get what we want.
The blue one just continues, like slowly lumbering as he says, We have no problem. We know where to go. We will go there. The green one interjects, But Greeno, this could be an opportunity. We were told to watch out for those. It is why we are on our way to this wretched place in the first place, are we not? Blue one just grunts in response. The green one turns back to the rest of you, sort of not sure who to address, who understands him. Artemisia certainly does. And she's conveniently stuck in one spot currently. As it'll say, My name is Ishri. We are on a mission of our mistress, despite knowing that it will lead to nothing, as it has done many times in the past. We have been invited too to this event, as we have been invited to many an event in the past. You are new. New things are potential. It ponders. In the background, you can still hear the snarling and just absolute assault that the White One is still trying to break down the force with.
Artemisia doesn't care.
The darkness dissipates at this point, although the black of the black one of these creatures has disappeared into thin air, apparently. The green one says, if you are heading to the same place as we are, simply follow Greeno. He is indefatigable and will inevitably reach his target, and so can you.
Artemisia will say, then perhaps Greeno, you'd be so gracious as to remove the wall.
He continues walking, and the wall stays.
She'll turn to the green one and say, he is indefatigable.
Ishri says, it is perhaps better for all of us if we wait for Fresher Wind to tire himself out first.
What if we knock him out and carry him with?
No, they have us at their mercy. We can wait.
Besides, I don't doubt your ability, but how do I put this? Pride is a fragile thing, and you would be well advised to treat us with the utmost respect.
Artemisia tilts her head and says, why is that? Forgive me, I do not know the social structures of Hades.
Then you better learn quick if you want to survive. You seem well accustomed to defending yourselves from physical threats. But there are more than those. You make the wrong enemy here, you will not have the strength to defend yourself from every angle.
Artemisia shrugs. Then,
Therefore, it is sometimes advisable to tolerate those that you do not understand. Perhaps even make use of common enemies.
and whom might you consider enemies?
I wouldn't go so far as to call him an enemy. However, we are not particularly fond of our soon-to-be host for this wedding.
Why is that? Just in general dislike, or?
Perhaps we can talk more a bit later. Get accustomed to one another's presence first. I have to ponder. This is a relationship that could lead to good things for both of us if deals were struck.
Artemisia nods and says, I would tend to agree with you there. It is hard to find people that would like to converse in a land like this.
Oh, you show your inexperience in these lands.
Converse without trying to steal my soul.
I have no intention to steal your soul or any one of your companions, and neither would most of the inhabitants here. But it is true, everyone wants something that benefits themselves. But such is life. If you do not get something that you want, then you're giving away something for free, and we can't have that.
That is a fair assessment. Oh, he's tired.
He glares at Artemisia, although no longer in a frenzy, apparently. The blue one, who at this point is like meters ahead of the group, doesn't even look back. just sort of snips a scaled finger and the wall of force disappears. Very well then, let us travel. Perhaps our mere presence will already be a boon to you, as it will likely deter, or perhaps encourage, now that I think about it, more incursions on your safety.
Easier shrugs and says, "We've faced titans. I feel like we can face most here."
The green draconic creature nods unimpressed. They will walk along the road, picking one of the directions that the tree is pointing without looking at the signs. They seem familiar with this track.
Right.
I think Artemisia tries to explain to the others. They're going to the party.
Mm-hmm.
They've invited us to come along with them.
All
And then
right,
she'll
that
ask for their
seems to
names.
work out.
When Artemisia explains this, probably an earshot of the half-dragon creatures here, right?
Yeah.
Or is she being particularly secretive about it?
No. I mean, she's just like, they know the way to the party. They're going there. They don't like Hades, and they're not opposed to us following. So I suggest we go with.
Yeah. The green half-dragon here will interject and say, wording. We did not invite you. We suggested that you could choose to follow us. There's a difference, an important one. You better learn quick to listen for those.
I dislike how pedantic Hades is.
Merely an acknowledgement that there may be some mutual benefit to things just happening without making any deals, which personally I'm quite fine with.
Well, we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in good time too. I have to crash this wedding after all.
How long will it take us to get there?
Oh, perhaps.
Correction, how long would it take you to get there?
Yeah.
And anyone who happened to be following?
Oh, it is the same speed, so the semantics are irrelevant here. It depends on how Greeno is feeling. He looks as if he is going to take a break soon. I would assume, well, time is different difficult to communicate. Perhaps one of your days.
Okay.
Admittedly, it is not that far, but we do not travel quickly.
Well, and we want to get there in good time to be rested and not be showing up to such an occasion disheveled.
Well, they said 1 day, and we left 3
Yeah.
days early, right? So,
Yeah, so all good.
got plenty of time.
It is worth noting that it is quite rude to show up early. Not forbidden, of course. We intend to be rude. You might too, depending on your goals.
Artemisia looks to the party and says, "I don't know about you guys, but I have zero opinion whether I'm being."
We have a tradition on the surface. It's called a hen do. Tends to happen before the wedding. We need to go visit the bride.
The green half-dragon creature contorts in a grimace of borderline disgust. As it says, all these surface world traditions that are being brought down here are ridiculous. They mean nothing to us. They only mean things to you and yours. I do not know what Hades has with them. He seems infatuated by these strange, vague processions of irrelevance.
I can only
I
assume.
mean, that's
for
just
one.
culturally insensitive, but right now I need to just follow these guys.
Yeah.
Eventually, their blue leader here seems to pick a random spot at the road as the spot to rest at, and just sits down without really communicating or doing anything. He appears to just be moving along, and everyone else just follows by circumstance, pretty much. As the four of them basically just sit down in a bit of a circle and wait. They don't appear to sleep or eat or do anything of the sort. They just sit down and wait.
Long rest and shifts then.
Yeah, alright. Instant Fortress, yay, nay?
Why not?
Sure.
Beds, might as well.
No, it's more comfortable.
That
I
means
mean,
you're-
if we have it but never use it, then
yeah, I know, right? Do we want to invite them in?
no, they wouldn't take kindly to an invitation.
Yeah,
so
True,
but we
yeah.
could suggest if they happen to break in, then you know
Alright.
then they would be breaking in.
I mean, they couldn't. They would, well, I suppose they'd need to know, what is it? No, it's immune to knock and charm of opening, so yeah. Only wish
Oh.
that could get them in, I think.
I mean, they seem to be fine with just lying here.
Yeah,
So
so I think, alright, that means you'll just pop down the instant fortress then. Like, not right next to them, obviously. Respectable distance away.
Sure.
And a 20-foot wide, 30-foot high tower.
Yeah, the deployment of the instant fortress does provoke at least a rare moment of attention from the blue half dragon here. His expression looking at it is not easy to interpret, but he might seem impressed. At least for a brief moment before he goes to just staring at nothing and waiting.
Need a beauty sleep.
All right. You do your resting in shifts?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to have someone on lookout.
yeah, and we
One on
don't want them
lookout,
to
3
suddenly
resting,
leave.
cycle. That's 8 hours.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you tell me who's doing when. If something happens, I'll just roll for it. But as it turns out, nothing bad is going to happen. You can take a full rest.
Yay.
Nice is that there's a roof to it, so you can just keep watch from the roof.
Yeah. And you can do 2 hours of light activity. So we can all get a long rest and I'll take a shift to look out and do that in 8 hours. Just pretty nice.
I think it's
Two
meant to be like
14s.
meant to be like 2 hours of like setting up camp and then cooking, getting firewood and stuff like that, and then actually sleep for like 6 hours.
Cooking, we just hold the food above the
Right
ground.
now, immediately I can get into cooking. You're right. It's so much better.
You just put the pan on the ground and it heats up.
Actually, there's one thing that might be relevant for this watch. I'm gonna roll a d4. That is Darius. Your passive perception is plenty.
Yes.
During your watch from the instant fortress roof, you do spot a trio of winged creatures flying overhead, rather much larger than imps would be. but you can't make out exact details.
I will cast invisibility on Juniper. Have Juniper fly up and see through her eyes. They probably see through it, but it's worth a try. I'd get her to try and.
How
Sorry?
close? How close does she get?
Only 100 feet away from me because that's the range of being able to see through her eye.
That's not going to get you much. They are flying quite high.
Oh, you know what? What am I doing? I'm a diviner. I'll just cast divination. Or Arcana, or what is it that I have? I have lots of sea shit spells.
Oh, so you have it all.
You have spells.
I have sea shit
Fucking
spells.
pick
What is
the-
this? God's servant. Oh no, that's getting answers from gods or from the fates.
Hey
or...
God, who are those guys?
Yeah, who are they? I can just get scrying if I can see the scry on that target. Try and get closer. Like, is it did get a save on it. Yeah, can I cast scrying on like, you know, the silhouette that I can see, and you know, they'd get bonuses to their save and whatnot, but give it a go.
Let me look at the scrying.
You can see and hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you, and then it goes into what the target saves are. It says you can see and hear a particular creature. So I just want to like essentially point.
I mean,
That-
seeing a vague shape flying up at isn't really a particular creature. That's a thing I'm seeing. I don't think that's really going to work here.
Well then, let's just have some fun and cast fly on myself. And I'll wake someone else up. And let's say Artemisia.
Sure.
Say, something flying overhead. I'm gonna check it out. I can teleport back if anything happens.
Alright.
Just take over my spot for a minute.
Sure.
And then I cast fly.
Don't get killed.
They are a good 200, 300 feet up.
Okay. I'll just sort of list in like a diagonal direction, try to take advantage of the dead man trees and the smoke and whatnot, and just try to obfuscate myself while trying to, you know, go full speed ahead and gain on them, and slowly make my way upwards and peek out of the smoke and do my best to get as close as I can without being spotted. But
Right.
I you know, they'll probably see me at the same time, but you know.
I mean, there isn't really enough to justify a stealth check here. You're basically in the open. The weather is certainly cleared up.
Does Ariad have fly or invisibility?
I mean, I fly,
That's wings.
but I do not have invisibility.
Yeah, you also don't have teleport, so no, I'll just do it myself. That's fine. I'll just go speedy.
Take me
Like,
with,
not
just carry me
hostile.
up.
I don't.
What's the worst that happens? You drop me?
True.
Just imagine Darius like poke Ariad like, "Hey, you want to like what?"
No, I'm the one awake. That would be rude.
Alright,
And then
so not-
Juniper can outrun me, so I can just have her go even faster and try to see through her eyes. Yeah, I'll make myself visible to get a little peek.
All right. They will certainly spot you.
Curiosity killed the Darius.
Sure, it'd be fine.
I mean, at least Kyra's close to cast restoration, right? Oh wait, that's Valis. Well,
Yeah, it's Valis.
Let me have a think. Darius, of all people, is the one to chase after them.
Not like hostile, just, you know.
Yeah, but
Is that no sheep, no. I teleport back to the instant fortress. I know what they are.
okay.
What are
Yep,
they?
nope. I don't even need to. I see a vague silhouette. I'm like, oh shit.
I'm gonna stop talking to them. They won't pursue.
What is it?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
compel. Oh,
Nope.
damn it.
Were they Balors or?
No.
They
No. You'll see.
What?
I might need to hide. I might need to hide during this ceremony.
Are they
Well,
the
What am I talking
Furies?
about? My debt's been paid.
yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been.
Fine.
Oh, you think they're the Furies? All right,
It's the Furies. Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. Good to know that they're going to be there.
Well, I mean, it's a royal wedding. They don't want any oath breakers.
My debt's been paid. I'm.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
They're
I'm just
paid.
saying, like, that'd be a sucky wedding if you
Although I
started the
wonder
wedding
if
with oath breaking.
Kira, if Kira married out of the position, would that then constitute the debt being back on the table? I wonder.
I think so.
I think that's paid. I don't think you can just.
Well, she's getting presumably like an early release.
Yeah, but that's not on
Or-
you.
I think that's more
True.
like a transference of jailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd tell them and then finish my shift. A little shaken. Like, all right, this is happening.
Jarrett's sleeping.
Deep silence is freaking me out.
Sorry, I was muted. I was saying
He's rolling random dice. Dice tables.
okay, what I was trying to say is that Darius returns being sure that he has been seen, but your
Mhm.
long rest continues uninterrupted as the shapes move away.
Wonderful.
In the same direction that you're going, of course.
Makes sense. Whew.
It is then, at some indeterminate time, it's actually pretty hard to keep track of time here as there's no sun to look at. There might be a vague difference in illumination, but it's so slight that it's practically impossible to tell whether it's night or day. But something that is even better than a clock, it appears, is Greeno's intuition. As at some point, the half dragon, the blue half dragon, stands up and starts walking. Apparently, like slightly startling his companions, even who just decide that like now's the time to go. They suppose they don't wait for you, but the procession is not very quick.
It takes like a second to fold up the fortress.
It's literally everyone gets out, and then it's just I say a word, and it becomes a 1 inch. What is it? It's a 1 inch metal cube.
Halldamir,
Nice.
if you're looking for a break, let's take one now.
Yeah, I just whenever's
God.
perfect. I just need a cup of coffee, man. I'm
Yeah,
dying.
let's take a 5-minute break before the inevitable arrival.
So imagine we get out of the fortress, like, half breakfast bowls in hand, because we were, you don't know when this guy just gets up. Harriet, like, has, like, a plate of pancakes she's just,
shit.
like, holding in front of her, like,
We'll do the
how do you
dishes
eat
later.
pancakes on the go?
It's alright, no, because after we've finished eating, Artemisia will just, like, dash a couple times ahead, pop it open, throw the stuff inside, and then close it again, and then we'll deal with them later.
You use your monk speed to run ahead, open up the fortress, and then do the chores?
Yeah.
What the...
Anyway, coffee
Alright,
time.
I'll be right back.
Coffee time.
What a grit. You need a monk to clean the dishes.
Oh, I miss this campaign. It's so fun.
Yeah, let's see what actually happens at this wedding. Kira is now just a dragon, though. No godly power at all.
That's correct. I guess we're more aptly going to see Arcurania. Do have a plan for getting her out, but I seriously doubt it's going to work, and it's going to stir some shit up.
Try it.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a drink too.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I filled my thermos with hot water earlier, so kind of proud. I was like, yes, I have the capability of getting coffee fast.
I did it.
Planning.
I saw this coming.
I divined. I made it to be true. Saw the future and grabbed it in my hand. No.
Hey, that's my line.
Yeah. Sorry. I saw something and then I Eldritch
Overplayed.
blasted it.
Yeah, but like 17 times in 6 seconds, so you know,
Yeah.
it all shakes out. So I'm like, I find the things to get you three where you need to go, and then do my best.
Yes.
That was my thought the entire time we were going through Praxis. Was like, I'm going to be so useless against Sidon. My job is to just make it so none of you spend your resources. And then it turned out that that little bitch was, heat metal was all it took to undo everything.
Heat metal.
I don't even have the option for that spell. I thought that I was statted out, but little did I know. You just need heat metal and then take the feat so that people can't use like fire resistance.
Does require
the
metal, so
elemental whatever. Yeah. Just like, whatever. Like, oh, he has fire resistance. Like, no, he doesn't.
Nanny boo boo.
Yes.
And you just reminded me, I need to remember what my sorcerer does for blood bonds.
All right, everyone back?
I have yet to hear
Manakai?
Manakai. I'll take that as a no.
Mhm.
That's my read.
Gotten like Discord mute. Always a possibility. Nah, I think he's away.
We're waiting on a player. Don't know when he'll
be back. I'm sure he'll let us know. Oh Lord. No
We got the
copyright.
sillies today.
When don't we?
It's been so long. Yeah.
Battle of
That's
Mitros. We did not have it. Oh no, there was still some sillies
There was
going
some
on.
Sillies. There's all sillies. A session. It's worse in Blood Bonds because me and Jonas are just ridiculous. Bounce off each
I
other
realized
constantly.
after that fight that we should have had immunity to lightning damage during the battle with the Twin Titans,
Wow.
like the kids. Yeah, young dragons have immunity. I thought it was just resistance.
What? The lightning?
Go check it out.
Oh, I guess they're bronze, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were bronze.
Well, and we remembered that they had resistance. Like we took, or at least I softened quite a few blows.
Thought it was resistant.
But
Actually
no, it should have been. It should have taken nothing. But then again, they would have just pivoted to another attack that we would have been taking the full damage of. So
maybe, they had the elemental feat and your resistance didn't matter.
there you go. Yeah, that's it.
Their immunity
That's
against
it.
resistance. Yeah.
Yeah.
They yeah, it's a good headcanon because honestly, then the first war, like they would have been like, oh, screw you, Sidon, I'm immune.
Imagine, I am the mighty caster, just like immunity to all the mental spells. Like,
Yeah.
great. I'm glad that I specialize in
I'm a
evocation.
dragon.
It's like, wow.
Shit.
I mean, that said, Seraph,
Mhm.
a lot of
Yeah.
dragons died during the first war, except for bronze dragons.
It's true.
So,
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey.
Even so, still, it's kind of like, wow, we did that whole fight and did it nerfed and still managed to just pull out of there. Although we did get a wishbone thrown at us.
I don't think we do many fights particularly like perfect. And I think we've
Yeah,
made many
no.
faults in how we.
I disagree, my friend. Removing the rod of command everyone to do whatever you want from Acastus beforehand probably changed that fight
That was pretty
significantly.
funny. Yeah. I mean,
I
sometimes
was looking that
we
up
hit the
afterwards. I'm
nail
like,
on the-
oh, it doesn't even matter if he used it on us or his allies. Like that would have just been awful.
Yeah.
It's not like that was it's a cunning plan or anything. That just happened.
You should not have that. Smack it
I
with
want the
hand.
key. Oh, this key also dominates the world. I'm
Back.
really glad you don't have it anymore.
Look at back.
Explains his
had an apple.
position.
Oh.
How was it?
It was good. I got like a real crisp apple.
Was it green apple or red apple?
No, it was red, but kind of sour anyway. So I like them best that way.
When I was a dumb kid going to school, I used to go through an orchard, and it was a cider apple orchard. But I was still a dumb kid, and I thought apples were apples. So I ate these small, tiny apples. Oh my god, were they sour? Oh, great though.
I get stomach ache. But
Today I learned that cider apples shouldn't be eaten.
No, they're not made for like just normal
go.
consumption. They're
I
just
do
really
like
sour.
really sour apples, though. I don't mind those at all.
I mean, you
They're
could
made for sheep's consumption.
find an orchard, an apple orchard.
steal a bunch
somewhere.
of apples.
Steal a bunch of apples.
I don't know.
We
You might
don't
not know. They
condone
might
theft.
spray them with all sorts of things.
Yeah, a bunch of pesticide. Well, you know,
That-
they all have to be like EU certified, right? So really matter that much.
Do they
We're already
anymore though?
consuming them.
Do they anymore though?
Here, yes, because they've not changed those laws yet.
How is
Yeah.
it to sell to the EU?
I'm really
Gonna have
hoping that they just do like a soft, they'd be like, oh yeah, it happened, but nothing changed.
Well,
Okay.
it's like,
Oh,
how are you
kinda
going to
forgot about it.
trade with the EU if you can't sell your stuff there, right?
I
So,
don't
Yeah,
want to talk
I
about
mean-
the whole trading. My job
Yeah.
revolves around like dealing with the turmoil of customs. and
Let's
how
focus on the
awful-
much less stressful thing of the devil's wedding.
Yes, that is so much better.
with
than
our friend
customs.
who doesn't want it, probably.
Yeah.
And we don't know. I mean,
Probably
Yeah,
wouldn't
would
want
you
it.
marry the
Yes.
devil?
hey,
Demas wouldn't marry the devil.
rom-coms
I mean,
have
did you
made
see that
worse things
token?
seem likely.
I mean, it worked out for Persephone. Just saying.
Did it?
I was gonna say, depending on the myth.
Did it really?
You know, could have been worse.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing.
It could have been.
If
any of
that's her
Zeus's
wish, then
lovers.
we'll respect it, and we'll also try to detect charm or mind control or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Say I have a hard time if she does
Here's the
play it
thing.
down.
Like it's a vow, right? And if the thing is, if you don't really mean it, it doesn't count. So don't
Yeah.
really can force anyone to be married.
That's not true. I didn't mean it.
No,
Still
so-
counted.
Well, no. If I intent, right?
Yeah, I fully intended to take the oathbreaker on the chin, and it still went through. If that
Well,
was the
you
rule, then
intended to take
my
the oath.
declaration to kill Versi would have been invalid
I don't know. Anyway,
because I was never at a point where that was what I was actually planning to do.
let
Or
us.
was it? Dun dun dun.
That's why she ran. She foresaw that you would.
She knew.
Yeah,
Let's follow this blue half dragon, half fiend.
Yeah.
They're Abishai.
Look at Manica and metagaming.
No, man, Valiknath was going to get minions, man. It's like Tiamat's dragon fiends.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh,
That
good.
makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were, to be fair. But... it's
But I
not
don't know
like
what
you've
they are in this
told-
context.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
not-
what they do either. So
You've not told me any more.
Different edition.
information.
Yeah.
They have a name. That's all I know
I mean,
now.
I stand by my point. Which one of these looks the most red? The black one.
He
Just-
does look pretty.
I don't know. I like the green one. But look at. Seems like he's
I think they all look awful, so it's a
awful.
What?
relative scale.
Wow.
Uh,
They put on their best hair accessories.
Good for them.
It is.
Look at that white.
Maybe we can
frill, though.
become friends and braid their hair.
All right, back to the game. However,
Back to the game.
it takes another couple of hours before you arrive at most definitely a notable sight, that of a castle floating in the air, not too high, maybe like 50 to 100 feet above it, with a staircase slash trail of more of the bricks that you've been walking on for the entire time, sort of floating like a cloth connecting the ground to the entrance. That the dragon creatures. I'm just gonna call them Abishai now because Medikai has correctly identified them. But of course, your characters don't know what those are. Seem to have no trouble going up there. It is a bit floaty, almost an ethereal sort of look, like vaguely floating in the air there. This road supported by nothing. Certainly imposing and most likely intentionally so. The castle itself, as you get closer, is, I mean, it's a large structure. It's not huge. It's nothing against some of the fortifications there that you know from Astoria and Mitros, but it's still an imposing stone structure floating in midair. Although it seems a bit neglected. There's holes in the walls here and there. It doesn't really have the like almost metal-like sheen that Mitros has on its walls. It's old and it could use some beauty repairs, but nobody seems to have cared.
Okay, but that's not necessarily Kyra's job. This one, like, that's not cool.
You also don't see any like decorations or anything, at least not on the outside of the castle. Though, as you, I assume, without fear ascend, correct me if you intend to do something different.
Before we go up, I would like to cast Gift of Alacrity on everybody and then change back into my suit.
Should we do a sending to Kyra? Like, hey, we're here for the hen party or hen do or whatever.
Nah, we might need that sending later.
I'm sure she'll.
We were invited.
Then
everyone take 9 temporary hit points, Alacrity, and yeah.
All right. Then, as you ascend, you do spot the first sign that there's a supposedly happy event going on, as the two devils covered in barbs and stingers have like circles of wilted flowers on their pikes. It doesn't look very festive or inviting at all, but it's certainly unusual and probably related to this whole event going on. But in the heat of Hades and the like scorching wind that occasionally passes by here, it's just shriveled brown stuff on top of their pikes.
Oh, they're trying.
The Abishai, the green one, sort of dropping behind his group to talk with you, as he says, "So, if you would like our support for your survival or otherwise, I would have an offer for you. If not, then we simply coincidentally arrive at the same time."
What language does he speak to?
Draconic.
Oh well. He just stares at him.
We'll
Artemis,
translate.
Yeah, I think Artemis Ural can translate between.
No, you can be the point of contact, and I'll be like whispering in the back, keeping those two in the loop.
That maybe associating with us might be scary because we might crash this whole thing and then
Let's hear what his offer
leave.
is.
It's like I just feel like if we're gonna start some sort of relation. It should be on
I was gonna see
feel
what he
like-
wanted for wants out of this relationship first,
Yeah.
because he wants something clearly.
all right.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be offering to join forces.
Mhm.
But I do agree. I think we should be upfront, once we find out what he wants. But Artemisia will start off by saying, okay, and what is in it for you in this arrangement?
Oh, as I've mentioned before, we've come to this place many a times, always upon being invited, even though we care nothing for these events. Hades has in his possession a particular item that is very valuable to us. We come here knowing that we can do nothing, as we will be guests, invited guests even, and there are certain restrictions that status carries with it. We could not possibly do anything to retrieve said item. Yet we must come every time we are invited, for we are ordered to pursue any and all opportunity. An invitation is an opportunity, although a pointless one. Yet perhaps your presence might change things. It all, however, depends on your reception. See, if you too are taken in as guests, then you too will have the same restrictions. However, you will also have unquestionable safety within those walls. Considering that you were invited without a location and wandered through Hades, apparently having attracted some attention, I do not believe that it is in Hades' interest to offer you the safety that being a guest would be. Hence, I would suggest you listen very carefully to his words. And should you happen to not be guests, even though he will want to make you believe that you are, then you are both in danger and very valuable, as you can act without, well, without indirect repercussions, just the direct ones that you seem so eager to act upon.
So, you would strike a deal that if we're invited but not invited as guests, that we could perhaps retrieve an item of value to you in return for your assistance in keeping us alive.
In return, we can offer safety.
How can you provide safety in Hades' own halls?
You underestimate our power. We might be prevented from causing any harm to Hades and his possessions. However, it would absolutely be in our power to protect a fellow guest. Even if you aren't, strictly speaking, guests. If you happen to be resting in the same chamber as we are, why, a lot of confusion can happen there. It would only be understandable if we were involved then.
And what
And
is this?
there are other things. You have seen Grino's magic casually used to diffuse Peshovan's frenzy. I have my own. We could coincidentally support you if things were to happen. For entirely different reasons, of course, different intentions, but coincidences can align for them to be beneficial to you, without us breaking any of our restrictions.
And what would this item be that is so important to you?
The exact details of this item are beyond you and irrelevant. It will not be dangerous to touch nor handle. It will not do anything untoward you. It is, of course, heavily magical, and as I've said, very valuable to us. I will not hide as much.
Why?
I do not believe it is. It will be protected, of course, but if we've learned one thing about Hades, it is that he trusts his own machinations far too much. He will believe that he has everything under control simply by the power of contracts. No need to defend an artifact if none are able to attempt stealing it in the first place.
Hmm.
Is it valuable to you, or do you work for or with someone that would also find this valuable? Well, you have to understand that if we give a powerful magical artifact to people we barely know, we would like to make sure that it does not, in the future, come back and metaphorically bite us in the ass.
We work at the whims of our mistress. Of course it is valuable to her, and therefore it is valuable to us. We do not intend to use it.
Does your mistress intend to use it?
We would never question her schemes. I do not believe they would involve you.
Fortunately, our direct well, I suppose Artemisia doesn't know who their mistress would be, so she wouldn't.
Consider an alternative. You were invited to a wedding, yes? And if you were already inside and a wedding were not to happen, then your invitations would be null. Is that correct?
He nods almost with some measure of respect. Now you're starting to learn. However, the wedding merely cancelled would not suffice. It is an event, things happen. The bride or groom may decide to. The invitation would only truly be null if the host were to perish.
Kill Hades.
Plan on doing that anyway.
Of course, him perishing would be temporary, as it would be for us, but it would open up a window of many opportunities.
Perhaps let us be candid. We do not think that the bride fully intends to actually go through with this wedding as an option. And as proclaimed, prophesized heroes, we have a soft spot for the bride, one could say, and don't intend to let her get married if she does not wish to be. And we're not afraid to throw hands with gods.
If Hades were to perish in stopping that, then we would all have what we want.
At this point, you're basically moments from arriving at the gate.
Mhm.
As Ishri takes a quick glance at the guards who seem completely ignoring your approach, basically. I seem to have recognized all of you, basically. So he'll say, "We should speak more inside once you have time. I'm sure something can be worked out, but there are options. All that matters to us is that we acquire this artifact, and that even if we were given an opportunity, we would be unable to use it ourselves. We need an intermediary, no matter what you do. It could be you, could be beneficial for you.
Well then, let's have more words inside when we know what we're up against.
So I'll arrange you sort of.
I am ready to go all house hunters on this place.
No
I expect a level
agreements
of
made.
decorum. I understand that they can't have living flowers, but you can do stuff with dried flowers. That's fine.
I should probably change these vision blocking layers just a bit.
Some
Fair
level of style.
I find that so cute, the mental image of just like two infernal guards standing there, but with like dead flower crowns and braids and shit on their
It's just a
on their
movie,
halberds.
right?
Yeah.
It's like the Pirates of the Caribbean one. One of them is enjoying it really much, and the other one is like banging with it, like, no,
Yeah.
stop that.
Get your
Stop
shit together. We're
Yeah,
we're
right.
devils.
It's like, tilting the crowd slightly on the head, like, yeah.
Sir,
No,
don't you
stop
think
it.
this makes me look fetching?
Yeah.
Neither of them seem particularly amused.
That's what they know.
Spoil my fun then.
We'll find that one lovable NPC in this goddamn hellhole. One devil will like dead flowers.
All right. As the
Side
gates
quest.
swings open under unseen forces, you can see into the castle. It's sparsely equipped, at least this front door here, to say the least. Meaning there's really nothing. Bare, grayish, reddish walls that have seen better days. Perhaps the occasional discarded and long since stomped into ash piece of some sort of flower, maybe drifted here by the wind. But it's actually rather barren. Looking further inside, before I will describe that, there's a man coming to meet you, a familiar visage to at least Demos.
And Darius.
And Darius. Sort of walking with some speed towards you. Breathing as if he has been doing a lot of activities and moving about and stressing about things. So he'll wipe non-existent sweat from his brow, extending like his hands to do in like a almost the start of a hug as he says in your general directions. Oh, welcome then, the Abishai of Tiamat. Welcome. Early as usual. I, however, this time planned for it. As he smiles. And the rest of you, come in. It is, of course, still far until the actual event. However, look around, I suppose.
So I know by vampire rules, the words "come in" would constitute an invitation. How does that work for this? Can we make an insight check?
Give me a religion check.
Religion.
I'm pretty sure it says in the player's guide for this that it's like they must offer you food and drink.
Yeah.
Halldamir is onto something here. This initial exchange certainly he's basically extended a hand in handshake to the Abishai and sort of just tolerates you, and that distinction is not even that
Obvious.
subtle, really. For a guest to be a guest, it is true that you have to be offered food, and once you consume said food, you are officially a guest, and the rules of hospitality apply. Before that, it's a bit of a gray area depending on the general feeling of the parties involved. It's not really a contract at that point. It's really the offer and the consumption of food that makes it a deal.
I also seem to remember that the invitation itself, now that we're talking about it, said there is a wedding, not like you are invited to a wedding.
Exactly.
Told us of the wedding.
He will turn around again, not really paying you too much attention. Although he does wave for you to follow him, which the Abishai will. Slowly, looking around, especially the black one, looking into the like pathways to the side here, where there is a sizable contingent of guards basically just watching you. Another half a dozen of these barbed devil creatures, wielding both pikes and swords and shields. They look as if they have some discipline and are used to doing that sort of thing exactly. He will basically hurry inside. They will follow.
Do we follow, you guys?
I suppose we do the same. Yeah.
Sure. You can move yourself if you like.
I think I'm trying to clock as much of the architecture in space as possible to, like, potential teleport destinations. Just trying to remember it as much as possible. Because I know that long range teleport doesn't work here.
As the small procession of Hades himself and the four Abishai, who are best described as subdued. They're not amused with this. They seem, however, to be used to it. Looking around, perhaps as if looking for opportunities to do something, but it's a dance they've practiced. As there's a number of imps, each with a tiny silver platter, who hop over here. There's a few words in Draconic that Hades switches to. Before the exchange happens here, each of the Abishai eats something from the silver plate. Each of them something slightly different, but all of them somewhat disgusting, really. One of them even frozen, which Fresherwind seems almost pleased about, but then catches himself and glowers back at Hades. The imps will then once again disappear over to the east there. As Hades almost apologetically looks towards you and says, "Oh, I'm afraid I only planned for these visitors. I like to prepare something unique and special for each of you. Give me a bit. As I've said, you're very early. Did I get the date wrong? I don't think I did. I'm usually pretty meticulous with these things."
Oh, no, of course. I apologize for intrusion. We came for the Hendu.
Oh, you must explain this to me. I must admit that these traditions are very new to me. I just think they're neat. There's a lot of good ideas.
Does Hades react at all to the fashion choice?
He does not seem to react at all, really.
Okay, cool. So, it's sort of a tradition. It's a bit of a joke, but also a celebration of moving on to the next phase in one's life. The last night of being single before marrying your true love. And you said you spend time with your friends.
I see. I think. I'm sure if it adds to the festivities, I'm not opposed to it.
Well, we wouldn't want to be in your way anyway. But
oh, that is very much
your big day.
appreciated. There is much to be done still. It is. Quite frankly, I'm usually somewhat of a perfectionist. However, gotta make do with what I have here, I'm afraid. My humble abode does not have everything.
Do you need any help?
Alas. Oh, absolutely not.
All right then.
He indicates like the tiniest bow as if to excuse himself. Then he says, I'll have to excuse myself. There are dinner choices to be made. The benches are out if you want to sit. You could. Feel free to walk about. I've got nothing to hide.
Wonderful. We'll stop wasting your time then.
Yes, I do wish you would. Good day. Here. With some speed, it moves this way.
Round. We got someone to find.
In this inner courtyard, it almost resembles something you would expect from a wedding. Perhaps enough space to sit, a bit of a variety of tables, which might be filled with food eventually. Chances are that the plan is that the wife and groom stand on top of the wall here, so to be looking over the spectators. But it's incredibly bare bones, as if it's getting there. Maybe in a few days it'll change, but right now it's bleak. It's bare rock. It's grey castle walls and an indefinitely overcast sky as the occasional scorching wind rushes through the courtway, sort of rattling the benches, causing some of the imps just floating about, just almost everywhere, to suddenly scuttle and try to put the bench back into its perfect spot.
Demas will grab an imp.
You can grab an imp. They don't appreciate the gesture, but they don't seem to become aggressive.
Hello, do you speak the Thylian tongue?
The imp screeches in a tongue that Demos does not understand.
All right, I need to find the bride.
That means you translate.
The imp continues screeching in a language that Artemisia understands.
The bride. Where point? He sort of holds the imp's body with one hand as he sort of lets it have its arms so it can point somewhere.
Give me a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Almost arguing.
It depends on the approach. It sounds somewhat diplomatic.
15.
The imp in return will poke Demos. Failing to, but that's a bit of a clonk against his armor.
Rude.
All right, Demas uses the other hand to grab the tail, sort of folds it up against the back of it, and sort of holds it with the same hand he's holding the imp with. Point.
Bounces it on his hip like a toddler.
The imp turns invisible and continues struggling.
Admir's will say, just tell him where the bride is and he'll let you go.
If the imp is pointing, you can't tell because it's invisible.
Just tell us.
Keeps holding it, just shaking it lightly. I think it's broken. Certainly my people at Mitros would have just done it by now.
Behind you, a contingent of the local guard apparently marches past, sort of slowing down as they are looking what you're doing to the imp. But rather than chastising you, one of them chuckles and then moves on.
Just turns to us. Oh, I think my imp is malfunctioning. Could you help me locate the bride? I need to speak to her.
Artemisia translates.
One of them turns to Artemisia and says, "It is not our purpose to give directions."
Whose purpose is it?
There is no one whose purpose it is to give directions.
Could you perhaps give directions even if it's not your purpose?
No.
Oh,
Then move on.
very dry.
Yeah.
Well, we were given leave to go wherever we want, so let's just explore.
He almost looks at it and just chucks the imp back to work.
The imp turns visible long enough to give Demos the equivalent of the finger, and then flies away.
It's censored. Hades doesn't approve of foul language or gestures. Okay, well, let's go explore
I say
this
north.
hell. It feels like maybe we're Hades' remnants, but you know what? We were given to leave to go wherever we want. He's got nothing to hide. So,
My mouse go. Oh, I broke.
sure.
Well, he said feel free. He didn't say you're welcome to.
Yeah,
So
he did
Sure.
say feel free. He didn't say you're not allowed
Sure.
to go anywhere, so
Sure, well, you know what? I do feel free. So,
I'm
I'm
a
gonna
free
go where I
person.
want.
Yeah, I'll
he
just
also
follow.
said that we could sit down, not that we were allowed to, or
Or that we were welcome to,
yeah.
was what he was avoiding.
Yeah, if it's not clear at this point, he's not going to invite you to any of the activities. If I misspeak, I am not a devil. He is.
Yeah, I don't
No, the
know
point-
about that. That's what a devil said.
The point was clear. Although it was like,
No
he
matter-
seems to be
matter
struggling
what-
for like the king of hell.
Yeah. So no matter what sentence flub in your second language say,
Mhm.
he is not inviting us to actually participate in this wedding or be in
Yeah.
the wedding at all.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or even be here in general.
I mean, he has expressed his tolerance of your presence currently, but that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah. No.
No, basically it means he's not obliged to follow any rules,
Yeah.
and we're not either. So
All right.
honestly, it could very well be part of his plan that we will be some sort of wild card
Yeah.
Are these
disturbance
like
here.
walkways?
Yeah, they're walkways above.
was-
You're basically walking through gates.
It was probably a contingent of some deal he made with Arcurania, and he's, wormed his way into being the most.
Stop moving for a sec so I can reveal a bit. These vision blocking layers are precise but not really useful. In front of you is another like walkway, not nearly as high as the inner walls. And on one of the crevices, the crenellations, you can see two figures sort of observing you pass with their steely gazes. Most definitely the same sort of creature that Darius has met a few times, but not the three queens of the Erinyes.
I think Artemisia is going to take a book.
Three
out.
that he met in Praxis weren't the queens? Dang.
No,
What
these
is
are just
three
two
that-
Enrenier.
The three that he met in Praxis weren't the queens.
They were, sorry.
Yeah.
But these two sitting here are not.
I'm not one.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
I think Artemisia will take a leaf out of Demos' book and say, will look up to them, see that they're looking at them, and then say, I suppose you two know where Kira is.
They continue observing Artemisia with steely gazes, not
Rude.
currently being interested in providing any favors without pay.
Are there like walkways up here? Like, is this just
Uh,
a wall to an interior?
Those are basically towers. So they are walls to an interior, yes.
This whole
Beautiful.
place really seems to be built to prevent us from going further in. Like if you look at this
Also,
structure.
I did not do vision blocking properly, so you're seeing too much. Look at that.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say, can Artemisia, if this is like a tower, is there like a roof to it?
There is. It's quite high up, like
It doesn't. Do you
quite
think that
high.
bothers
If
me?
Artemisia wants to get up there, she can.
Yeah, I can literally run up walls. It. Artemisia will say, "Give me a moment. I'll just see what's about." Go to high
Wait a
ground.
minute. He invited those people to sit outside and eat in a barren courtyard?
Pretty
He's
much.
being rude.
Being a dick.
God.
He doesn't like him. He just invites them to tease him.
Yeah, he's just,
No, yeah,
an
definitely.
arsehole.
It just
It's rude. Yeah.
part of
He's a
Ariad is
complete
like going
douche,
into
yeah.
like disapproving mob mode, looking around like.
Well, ultimately, she will go up the top of the tower. She wants to get the lay of the land, and best way is high ground. She knows that.
All right, I'm gonna move you about a bit
Oh.
to show you what you can see.
I can go up things.
Levels.
Yeah, vision blocking with height involved is annoying
Yeah.
because you can definitely see over those walls. So I'm just gonna remove them.
Yeah.
Is this whole place like in magma?
The background looks magma-ish, but it's floating. It's floating over solid terrain.
All right.
I just figured I've got the ability to like run up vertical surfaces. There's no reason not to do stuff
Do
like
it.
this.
We know that Artemisia is showing off, and that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's allowed.
You know.
I'm allowed.
Her home country currently is being the worst. She
Yeah,
needs to
Yeah,
respect herself.
I need to
like-
feel
This is
good
a-
about something.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
Badassery.
How about I just reveal? Well, I can reveal the outside, but not the interiors, just to give you an idea of the general layout, and the people involved. That was the opposite. We'll do something along these lines. You can see that place too. Gatehouse, sure. I reveal all of this. Yeah, what you see here basically is the outside, not necessarily the inside.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
The places I'm not revealing have actual insides that I'm not showing. There, that should give you a general overview. On these outside towers, worth noting that none of them are empty. There's either a pair of Erinyes keeping watch, like over here, or a larger type of devil, wielding spears, long horns and wings, and a nasty-looking tail. They are just keeping watch, mostly looking outside, not necessarily inside.
I guess Artemisia will hop down. They basically, we've just come out of a inner keep. There seems to be two buildings. One where Hades sort of went to. Another is just past this tower, and there does seem to be something further up ahead. Gestures towards the wall. Otherwise, there appears to just be another curtain wall around, and Erinyes and devils guarding the walls.
What about these two? Like these are buildings, yeah? Or like higher towers or just buildings?
They are towers, but I can't show them because there's an interior.
All right. So, okay. Well, do any of them look prison-ish?
Not really. All of this looks very prisoners, actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very inviting.
Yeah.
Worth noting that there's one thing I forgot to reveal to the north. It's a Cerberus sitting there,
Oh,
sort of half paying attention.
That seems pretty special. I think we should go that way. There's a Cerberus over there. That seems.
Demon's gonna go wherever you guys will. If he figures we're probably gonna get to every place, so you know.
Is this like a walkway under here? Because the lighting's different here.
Yeah, you can basically only move like here or here.
That makes sense.
So technically, you couldn't see the Cerberus quite from where you're standing, but I'm not going to be that.
Well, I mean,
picky.
I was up here when I saw it, right? So,
Yeah, sure. You definitely saw it.
Yeah. All right.
As well.
I mean, yeah, Artemis is like... He thinks the Cerberus is hiding secrets. Let's go that way.
Don't you know a Cerberus?
Good hint to finding a thing.
I think you told me about that once.
Big three-headed dog in front of a door. It's a good place to look.
Darius, didn't you meet a Cerberus at some point?
I thought you were friends
Met a
with the
few at
Cerberus.
this point. Yeah.
Few.
Freed one from. Although I think that one was bigger.
But Demons thought there was only one.
This one is. Oh, that's the same size.
Well, there
Really?
was that
Oh,
giant
okay.
one.
Just looks a bit smaller because the map has like a grid on it, which is
Yeah.
not correct.
I think we had...
See what I look like next to it. Oh, yeah, that looks about right.
All right, let's go say... let's
Hello.
go see what's happening.
Yeah, Darius, give me an insight check.
I was about to say, is it the same one?
Very hard to tell.
Yeah.
Does it have a collar?
21.
At least one of its heads at least seems to recognize you.
At least one, huh? Is it the one that did most of the talking when I went to the rock?
Probably.
All right. Wow, got a new job. That was quick.
Yeah, it sort of stands up from its sleeping position, all the heads sort of pivoting towards you to pay attention. It's the middle head in a voice that might be familiar to Darius says, I am not allowed to let anyone pass through this door, in or out. You are forbidden from approaching it.
Approaching the door?
Yes. If you touch this door, I will kill you.
Is there another entrance into what you are, what that door leads to?
Give me a persuasion check.
Excellent at that.
Oh Lord.
This is the only door.
Artemisia like squints. I don't believe you. But I'm not going to come to your door. Don't worry. I have no intention of touching or even looking at the door.
Curious.
Oh, it's nice to see you again. Got another job very quickly. It looks like.
Where do I go?
Curious. Would it be insulting to ask if it knows other Cerberus?
I'm
Even though
sure
we
it
saw
knows.
that big one that died in the Mithril mines, and I never figured out what could do that. It was massive.
Yeah.
Because this building, I thought maybe it would know something.
Try and engage him in pleasantries and see if.
I don't know if it's pleasant. Maybe it's just like someone he cared about.
If this is who I think it is, he's done me. I've done him a favor, and he may be inclined to talk.
I've been curious for a long.
Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I'll turn to this Cerberus and say, it's a pleasure to see you again. It seems like your new job is at least a little more interesting location.
It's like an ambiguous growl.
Did you take on this job in a similar manner?
I am born to serve, and here I am, serving. A deal struck, payment delivered. Unlike the last time, I do not expect the unexpected.
What is it that you do expect?
I expect to be here and guard this door until it no longer needs to be guarded.
No, it looks at it sort of curiously and then says, there's a creature, I don't know if you happen to know it. I once saw one of your kind. It's a fair bit bigger and, well, we found it dead. It's always concerned us. Is there something that would be hunting you down that maybe we could help you stay away from?
This time a more unambiguous growl escapes all three heads' throats, really. One of both, perhaps a bit of fear as well as anger, as it says, there are not many of us in Hades. Few are now. I do not know what creature did what you describe.
If it helps, it happened on the material plane. Happened on Thylea.
Whatever creature it was so overwhelmingly powerful and quick that there was nothing that the guard could do. It was told to guard the place, and it failed. Not many can overcome a fully grown Cerberus. Even you would have trouble with me.
I'm sorry for the loss.
I just frowns. He doesn't like that. Whatever that is probably still down there in that big hole or digging about in the tunnels or something. Right?
Yeah.
Who even knows? It's been there for so long. Well, it's worth a try.
Yeah, well, I suppose we have other doors to go look through.
But we can walk like closer, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna.
Right if I skirt past you.
He seems not bothered by that, although after a bit of a pause, he says, I might, however, know what the Cerberus that got killed was guarding, if it is of interest to you.
Absolutely.
Oh, if you happen to know, feigning that he doesn't care too much, the Cerberus doesn't ask for some crazy price. Yeah. But doing so badly.
You're talking about the forge, the dwarven forge,
Yes.
made by one of the five. It had many plans, one of which needed a connection to the Never Sea. The tunnel, it was guarded after concerns crept up that not only could you take something from the Never Sea, but also something from the Never Sea could take you. Perhaps it did.
Well, that's
Cerberus
horrifying.
made the hole? Who made the hole? Was it the Cerberus?
The hole was dug by the dwarfs.
Oh.
They made a connection to the Never Sea.
By digging? That seems insane.
And then it's dwarves, come on. They do everything insane.
It's their holy,
Dig
curse
too deep,
to always
deeply,
dig
yeah.
too deep.
I have always been wondering how the Kraken made it out of the Nether Sea.
It got out the
I don't
Nether
think
Sea
that
because
was the one who did it. The thing had
Well,
bite
that
marks.
whirlpool thing went up. Oh no, I guess we did it in the Ultros. So
It is still up. But that thing the Cerberus had bite marks. And was turned to stone? No, it wasn't. That was the other things.
that was the other things.
Smaller ones. Death dogs.
yeah, it was the dogs that were.
Yeah, no,
stoned.
the Cerberus was just like a bloody mess. Yeah.
Just looks at this Cerberus and says, how much do you get paid for a job like this?
The pay would be difficult to quantify in your terms. It is also irrelevant.
Well, if I was looking to acquire the services of a serpent, he says, imagining how cool his throne would look if there was one of these guys lying behind, next to it. What sort of, as a guardian, what sort of price would be exacted?
Imagine the dragon egg hatchery guarded by a Cerberus.
Or the throne of Metros.
Both.
Yeah.
First, you must have something worth guarding. Then, we must negotiate. A Cerberus price is high, but never unreasonable.
I assume it's not just gold,
Gold has no meaning.
but something else, something like jewels, maybe
Power,
fine weaponry, armor.
influence, promises, favors, done without question.
Oh.
A Cerberus is never unreasonable.
Oh, that sounds. That's good. I mean, I suppose the dwarves paid that giant one something. If they could do it, then I could probably do it.
I mean, was that dead one as big as this Cerberus?
Oh, it was huge,
Much
man.
bigger.
Bigger,
Much
bigger.
It was like map sized.
This is like the Cerberus that we fought when we got to the forge.
The
baby
one
one.
there was bigger than colossal.
Wow.
Yeah, we were like fitting the size of its foot, basically. All of us stayed together.
How?
Darius, the result you get is wheel and woe.
Well then, it tells me
Wait.
everything I need to know.
Artemisia didn't really stick around for this conversation.
Yeah, you
Or
can
strolling
walk around.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
assume that I would need to go a little bit away, so I'll
that-
say
that-
I'm with Artemisia.
That bit here is just on the map. Ignore that.
Oh, okay. What the fuck is
Wow.
this?
They're like struts to
Oh.
like
So-
stabilize the tower.
Juniper gets 9 hit points. Woo.
Has it got like a roof to it?
It does.
I'm guessing nothing
Well.
around here.
Darius walks up to you like, she's here.
I can show you the entire outside.
There you go.
I mean,
Never
I think while Artemisia was over here, I can do that. I think. I should say, well, he's here. Let's find an entrance. Then Artemisia will.
Well, I know Ariad at least could get in without touching the door.
Artemisia will like hop up onto the roof, or like run up onto the roof.
Yeah, the tower is high. It's like 80, 100 feet. It's excessively high.
That's incredibly
Oh,
high.
so like one round of movement
Like
for me.
a kilometer.
Basically.
Less.
Well,
Psychology.
maybe I got my values too high, but it is the highest point of this